The 11th Doctor, Amy Pond and Rory Williams visit an acid mining factory. A solar storm hits the factory, turning the workers gangers into self-aware individuals. The Doctor must mediate between the original workers and their rebellious gangers. Welcome, friends and companions! How are you today? I'm doing great. I'm fantastic, fantastic. So, sci-fi fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who. I watch this series till eternity. This is a unique series. It's not to compare with others. Every show and franchise has its own uniqueness. So, it's its own uniqueness. So, it's not to compare. And so there are also no threats because every show, every franchise, every series has its own uniqueness and is adds to the entertainment. And it is your own entertainment. That's what it's all about. This channel has multiple names. This channel regenerates regularly. Most of the time, this is the channel is called Random Entertainment Channel, and random because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. We have fun, laughter, and jokes on this channel. We don't dive deep into things such as religion or politics. These are not entertainment. So, yes, we want to make friends. I want to network. We want to have fun with each other. So, random cause we will broadcast on non-fixed time and actually many different times. So the Doctor travels to the past, present, and future in the universe. So also different times on this channel because yes, there are different time zones on in this world. So and to meet as much people as possible, I do live streams on different times. I want to meet you actually. So you need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is to have to see. So focus on the notifications on YouTube. Yes. So random also, because we will have no guests or different guests. It depends what you join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord server. You can meet me there, contact me there, and you can put a comment on one of the YouTube videos of the channel. And we will look what is possible. And also it's possible invite me for your channel for live stream and panel. Because I want also to talk with you about the things you're interested in. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm available for that also. So contact me for that. So the Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who on Discord. Invite me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker, Mystery Random Shuffle in the universe. So today we have an 11th Doctor story, The Rebel Flesh. Actually, this is part one of the two-part story about yes, actually about the workers, original workers, and the rebellious gangers. The first part is rebel flesh, and so um, as usual, we begin with the general info of this story. So this is a two-part story. Each part has its own name. And this is the Rebel Flesh, and the next part of this story is the Almost People. So, the Rebel Flesh was the fifth episode of Series 6 of Doctor Who. Like many previous stories, it saw the Doctor duplicated. It was the second time that the 11th Doctor was copied following the 11th hour. It introduced the Flesh concept to the universe and showed the Doctor had an ulterior motive for wanting to get rid of Amy and Rory for a while. It marks yet another time the Doctor has tried to make peaceful negotiations with humans and another species, but failed due to one side taking a life. This previously happened in Cold Blood of Series 5 with Silurians, actually. It was notable for the first use of motion control cameras since the mysterious planets. And the mysterious planet um, is sixth Doctor story, Colin Baker with Perry. It was actually the first story of the trial of a Time Lord constituted in season 23 of Doctor Who. So it contains the first instance of motion control use on actors rather than in animate models in Doctor Who history. So that is some general info. We dive now immediately in the plot. So spoiler, they even haven't and or watched and or listened to this episode yet. I highly recommend you to do that. Otherwise, listen further. Let's go. On an island, factory workers Jennifer, Buzzer, and Ginny move through a monastery. In a small chamber containing one large circular vat filled with acid, they wear acid suits to protect themselves. Jennifer is perplexed by the acid readings. Buzzer teases her. In response, she hits his leg and he falls into the vat. Way to go, Twinkle Toes, Jimmy sneers. Buzzer asks to be pulled out, but Jimmy says there is no point bringing him back legless. Buzzer notes his nerve endings gave out, meaning he can't feel anything. Annoyed, Jimmy says they'll have to write this up for the boss. Jimmy and Jennifer leave the chamber as Buzzer calmly waves enough. Oddly, Buzzer's next seen walking down the corridor towards them. He says that he could claim workman's compensation as he did just have an accident in the workplace. Sternly, Jimmy points out just one acid suit cost a bomb. As they walk off, Jimmy tells Buzzer that if this causes him to stay another day due to the schedule being pushed back, he'll kill him again as it will make him miss his son's birthday. Back in the acid room, the first Buzzer's face dissolves in the pool of acid with a look of agony. In the TARDIS, the 11th Doctor scans Amy for pregnancy and continues to get uncertain readings. At the same time, Amy and Rory are playing darts while listening to Supermassive Black Hole. According to the scoreboard, Amy is winning and Rory is bad at the game. Doctor turns off the music, asking Amy and Rory if they like to go for fish and chips. They're for it. He says he'll drop them off and come back when they're done. Amy wonders what he'll up to in the meantime. The Doctor states other stuff. Amy says that they'll join him as there's no way he's ditching them. Suddenly, the TARDIS shakes violently. A quick scan reveals a sonar tsunami is hitting the TARDIS, causing it to fly out of control. The Doctor attempts to steer the TARDIS to safety, but gives up, yelling for Amy and Rory to take crashing positions. Everyone ducks and covers as the sound of an object flying at high speed rings through the console. However, instead of crashing, the TARDIS lands with a soft thud. The Doctor heads outside to see where they have landed. It's the very same island as earlier, but the Doctor assumes they have arrived at a 13th century monastery. Amy thinks this means they're in the medieval era. So, however, Rory tells her that it is not likely, prompting her to ask if he's an expert on the medieval era. Rory meekly points out that he can hear Dusty Springfield playing nearby. Okay, not the 1200s. Haha. Rory notes his mother is a fan of Dusty's music, to which the doctor says he is too. Hello, Bill Barclay. You say there's a piece of music uh, used in this that is similar to Resident Evil Afterlife, flying by Tomon Tomandendi. Yes, actually, I have all the movies and animated movies of Resident Evil. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. So thank you for your comments. And also hello to Craig the Panda. So we go further. So they investigate the interior, not knowing someone is watching them. Seeing piping, the doctor scans it with his sonic screwdriver, noting that it has a ceramic interior, meaning something corrosive is being bumped off the islands. Roy touches a wet spot with his finger and pulls his hand back in pain. Doctor tells him it's old acid. Roy is lucky it wasn't fresh, or his hand would have been dissolved. The monastery has been modified into a 22nd century factory for mining acid. An alarm goes off, and the doctor notices a reading on the Sonic, telling Amy and Rory that, quote, Elmo's people, end quote, are coming. Uh, Craig, the panel says, I thought that you playing the actual episode. What do you mean by that? And Bill Barkley says, although someone said it's not, and that it's by Murray Gold, but it definitely sounds similar, if not the same. Je ziet in many, for many examples are using each other's music. You can better can well, you say that you can better be using music of other movies or series than uh, use a bad ID for your of yourself. So yeah, you have not to invent the wheel again. So it's perfect. What? What do you mean? Uh, with that comment? Whatever. I'm going further with the story. Okay. Um, Craig meant that they thought it was a watch along of the episode playing on a screen. Um, this is not a watch along. Um, it's more of you can call that explanation, analysis, and explanation about the general info, the plot, and about all the things like continuity. Um, so it's a good idea to do watch-alongs, uh, but one of the things is important for watch-along is that are to know that are people joining beforehand, because then the watch-along works. Then we have conversation and can chat about that. So so at the moment I do now only uh, yeah, actually an analysis and explanation about the story to get people familiar with the Doctor Who, with more people in the live stream we can do watch along. So this is why I do this, make this choice for this live stream. I hope this explanation is uh, yeah, good for the moment. So, continue. Searching for these people, the trio end up in a chamber where they spot five harnesses, four occupied by sleeping workers. Amy wonders if they're prisoners of meditating. The doctor tells her it falls into the or what category. A recorded voice from speakers tells them to halt and remain calm. The doctor notes that they've complied with the first request, but asks if any of them are actually calm. The factory's security quickly surrounds them, and the time travelers realize they are exact doubles of the people sleeping in harnesses. The foreman, Miranda Cleese, tells the trio that unless they work for Morpep Dietzen, they're in a lot of trouble. Banishing the psychic paper, the doctor claims to have come from the new meteorological department. He warns them that a solar wave bigger than the one they've just survived is on its way. They're all in danger. However, Cleves is more concerned with doing their jobs than the lives of their workers. The doctor requests to see her, quote, critical system, end quote. Cleves leads the doctor, Amy and Rory, to a vat of flesh, fully programmable matter which can replicate any living organism. All of the workers in the room, apart from Jennifer, are flesh gangers, controlled by the real people who are sleeping in harnesses. The site is far too dangerous, and they were losing workers every week. Therefore, the military commissioned the creation of the gangers, who could mine the site and interact with the acid without putting anyone in danger. The doctor is concerned by their low opinion of the flesh, but intrigued by its function. He scans it with the sonic screwdriver and reaches out to touch it. He grimaces in pain and says that it felt like, while he was scanning it, it was scanning him. Jennifer is ordered to her harness by Cleves. A small amount of flesh pours into a tub attached to it. Eyes and the mouth form as the flesh compresses into Jennifer's shape and color begins filling in. After Jennifer's gangers emerges, the doctor jokes, quote, I see why you keep it in a church. The miracle of life, end quote. The doctor reminds Cleves of the impending solar storm, but she refuses to allow her team to leave the island. The doctor asks for the location of the security systems, being informed by Jennifer where they are. Investigating with Amy and Rory, the doctor notes that the factory runs on solar energy. When a wave hits, there will be a debilitating power surge. I've got to get to the cockerel before all hell breaks loose. I never thought I'd get to say that again. The doctor laughs, heading to the roof to the weather vane. However, despite his best efforts, the doctor arrives too late and is knocked unconscious, falling to the ground as the solar storm hits. The acid pipes burst and leak everywhere, eventually causing the TARDIS to sink below ground. As the power surges, the gangers flicker between their full human forms and semi-flesh forms. The doctor awakes to see the weather vane gone and its stump smoking. Going off in search of the others, he finds Cleves, who is deeply shaken and concerned for her team. They move back into the monastery, where the doctor asking Cleves how long they've been unconscious. When she replies a few minutes, he insists that it has been at least 1 hour, and a lot could happen in an hour. Amy and Rory awake on the floor of the flesh room and return to the harness chamber, where they find the rest of the team shaken after the power surge. Jennifer is in a state of shock, and Rory comforts her. The doctor and Cleves eventually join them. Cleves informs the group that the gangers should have melted into their pure flesh forms, but the doctor is uncertain, especially as Jimmy's records start to play throughout the monastery. It seems that the gangers are controlling themselves now. The group runs to the dining hall, which has been ransacked. The doctor explains that the gangers were merely searching for confirmation of their identities. The group has trouble accepting this and believe themselves to be in danger, with Buzzer citing a previously recorded case of gangers going crazy. However, Doctor shrugs this suggestion off. Seeing a house of cards, Buzzer says was a trick taught to him by his grandfather. The doctor explains that Buzzer's ganger was taught by his grandfather as well. They have the entire identities of who controlled them in their heads. The doctor tells everyone that they've willingly bequeathed their lives to their doubles. They are dealing with the miracle of life, not a mess that needs to be mopped up. Jennifer feels ill and rushes to the toilets, closely followed by Rory to keep her protected from crazed gangers. In the toilets, Jennifer vomits up flesh while Rory has his back turned. Terrified to realize that she's a ganger, she runs into one of the cubicles. As Rory steps in front of the sink and spots the flash, Jennifer punches through the door of the cubicle and narrowly misses hitting Rory in the face, demonstrating tremendous elastic ability. Her neck also extends through the hole in the door and she screams, "Let us live!" as Rory runs out of the room. In the dining hall, the doctor heads up a plate of food as Jimmy suggests, arming themselves against the gangers. The doctor wonders if Jimmy is a violent man. When Jimmy replies in the negative, the doctor explains that there is no reason to assume his ganger will be. The doctor hands Cleves the hot plate, though she doesn't react to this until he mentions that it is hot, at which point she drops it. Confused as to why she didn't feel the heat before, the doctor calmly explains that her nerve endings haven't finished attaching yet, but that she'll stabilize soon enough. Cleves turns away. When she turns back, she feels her flesh fall. Workers demand to know where the real one is, but Cleese runs out, screaming. Amy reminds the doctor that Rory is with Jennifer, who was out of her harness. The doctor, Amy, and Dickon run after Rory and Jennifer, finding the aftermath of Jennifer's brief mental snapping. Recalling that the doctor called the gangers early technology, Dickon wonder why he's really at the factory. Doctor gives a look towards Amy before insisting that the gangers aren't violent, but scared and angry, and he needs to talk to them if he is going to fix what has happened. They continue to the monastery, but find many of the corridors blocked by leaking acid puddles. Doctor proposes going to fetch the TARDIS and rushes off. Amy also goes off on her own to search for Rory. Jimmy returns to the dining hall and sends Buzzer and Dickon off to retrieve the acid suits. Rory finds Jennifer's ganger in the locker room. She insists that she is Jennifer Lucas, not a mere factory part. Jennifer tells Rory about the memory of a time she was lost as a child and imagines a strongest version of herself as comfort. She takes offense when he asks her where the real Jennifer is and takes on full human form while yelling that she is just as real as the other Jennifer. Rory comforts her, accepting her and earning her trust. On his way to fetch the TARDIS, the doctor returns to the vat of flesh and scans it once more before leaving. The tub fills with flesh and slowly a mouth takes shape in the liquid, whispering, "Trust me." Upon reaching the TARDIS, the doctor is disappointed to find that it has almost completely sunk below ground. Additionally, nearby acid melts through his shoes, forcing him to abandon them and return to the monastery in his socks. Meanwhile, all of the gangers, apart from Jennifer, have gathered in the acid room with the acid suits. They have the advantage now since they can move anywhere. While searching, Amy avoids an area filled with gas and comes to a dead end. She's horrified to see the eye-patched woman again. Yet again. Not long afterwards, Rory and Jennifer's ganger discover her, and they are all joined by Buzzer and Dickon. The two factory workers are pleased to have found Jennifer, but Amy is quick to inform them that this is her ganger. Rory quickly becomes defensive, shouting that no one will touch her. Amy is shocked that Rory is being so defensive on another woman. The doctor, meanwhile, has discovered the gangers hiding out in the acid room. He tells them that they should try cooperating with the originals, as a fight never ends well for anyone. The doctor leads them, fully formed, back to the hall. He asks them to try keeping their appearances, as it will make them less scary. They are observed from afar by a contemptuous Miranda Cleese, who has been hiding out ever since the solar storm. Feeling like she's being watched, Cleve's ganger turns her head, only to see no one there. They return to the dining hall, where Jimmy, Buzzer, and Dickon interrogate Jennifer's ganger about what she has done to the quote real end quote Jennifer. Amy insists that they should do nothing until the doctor arrives, and he does so right at the end of her sentence, followed by the gangers. The doctor requests replacement shoes and reminds everyone that the gangers are truly alive, that destroying them is murder. Jimmy expresses some disdain until his ganger reveals his shared memories of his son's birth. They appear to reach some sort of unspoken truce, even volunteering to go and find Jennifer and Cleves together. However, before they can depart, the real Cleves storms the room, brandishing a probe. Cleves Ganger explains that she has a complex that makes her always want to be in charge even when she doesn't know what the hell is going on. Cleves tries killing her double, but Buzzer gets in the way to wrestle the probe from her. Buzzer accepts and drops dead. The doctor's furious. Buzzer's Ganger had a human heart, and Miranda stopped it. Have witnessed Buzzer's murder, Jennifer's Ganger wrongfully loses her faith in Rory, concluding humans can't be trusted. And Cleese turns on her with the probe. Rory jumps on her, wrestling it away from her as the gangers flee, terrified. The doctor snaps at Cleese for ruining their chances of working together, prompting Cleese to arrogantly respond that it's, quote, us or them, end quote. Returning to the acid room, Jennifer's Ganger repeats this, us or them. Sensing that the gangers will launch an attack as retribution for Buzzer's death, the doctor suggests hiding out in the monastery's most secure room, the chapel, which happens to contain the flesh fat. The real Jennifer searches for the Rory but is met with a sneak attack from above by a ganger. Rory stops running toward the chapel when he hears Jennifer scream out. Despite Amy's protests, Rory separates himself from the group and goes off in search of Jennifer. As the gangers advance on the chapel, the doctor and his companions barricade themselves inside. However, the doctor is quick to sense someone else's presence in the room and refuses to focus on the situation at hand. As Amy lectures him, the doctor's voice rings out from the shadows. A semi-flesh ganger of the doctor steps into the light, adjusting his bow tie. Trust me, he says, I'm the doctor. End of this episode. Episode one of this two-part story, and his own name is The Rebel Flesh. Next time, we do a continuation of this story, Almost People, but that's for another live stream, so stay tuned. Stay focused on the notifications. I'll name some cast members. Take a deep breath. So to be continued, So cast members. The Doctor is played by Matt Smith. Amy Pond is played by Karen Gillan. Rory is played by Arthur Darvill. Jimmy is played by Mark Bonnar. Buzzer is played by Marshall Lancaster. Jennifer is played by Sarah Smart. Cleese is played by Rachel Cassidy. Dickon is played by Leon Vickers. And Eye Patch Lady is played by Frances Barber. Some world building. Nerve endings are mentioned. Second, the doctor says he wears a size 10 shoes and that his feet are quite wide. Third thing, Jimmy and Buzzer refer to an incident on the Isle of Sheppey in which an electrical surge resulted in a ganger animating and killing its former controller. Fourth thing, the doctor suggests dropping Amy and Rory off on Earth for fish and chips. A fifth thing is that Rory recalls that his mother enjoyed Dusty Springfield. I also enjoy Dusty Springfield. Wishing and hoping and still this is what I won't get you into. I don't know why it is I'm lost. I love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, can't you see? That since we ever met, you had a hold on me. It's crazy, but it's true. I only wanna be with you. With you. Yes, that's Dusty Springfield, one of the songs. Um, I like the Dusty Springfield, so I enjoy it. Most of the 60s, I say yes, she started in 60s, Dusty Springfield. Um, but yeah, some influences. The monastery setting was inspired by the name of the rose. The name of the rose um, is a film. Uh, it's a historical mystery film, actually. Okay. Second thing, influences. The gangers were inspired by The Thing, and The Thing is also a film. It's an American science fiction horror film in 1982. And third thing, influence in this story is the Frankenstein was cited as an influence, most notably an electrical storm giving life to a synthetic person. Okay, some story notes. By the conclusion of this episode, the entire active crew, TARDIS crew has either had or been a duplicate of themselves, although this is not fully revealed until later in TV story. Pandora opens slash the Big Bang and the Almost People. That's a continuation of this uh, the second part of this story. The scene involving the doctor's investigation of an acid pipe outside the factory is reminiscent of the doctor's investigation of tire threats on Androzani Minor in TV story. The case of Androzani with the fifth doctor, Peter Davison, and his companion, Perry Brown. Uh, As is routine for post 2005 Doctor Who, a next time trailer for the next episode is shown at the end of this episode. Okay. Um, okay. Some the music. When Amy and Roy are playing darts, the music in the background is Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. And Muse is um, okay. The song played by Buzzer on the turntable when the TARDIS crew arrives, and later by the Gangers, is Dusty Springfield's "You Don't Have to Say You Love Me," her version of the Italian song "Lo sei non vivo senza te." That is "You don't have to say you love me, just be known. You don't have to stay forever. I won't understand. Believe me." Singing Joker, singing. I love music. I'm a big music lover. Many say these are different genres and styles, different decades. From early jazz to dance pop. It's most of the time is every genre or style some charm, some things. But it depends on who the workout of the singer. Yes. Um, okay. The music playing in the background when the vet of the flesh is the first song is "Flying" by Tolman and Dandy. That's already a few comments ago. Bill actually Barclay says about Tom and Dandy, and Tom and Dandy is an American musical duo from New York City, and so genres they are evolved in, and they are doing is film score, dus, so in soundtrack and trance music, and they are active in during they started their activity in the 1990s, and they are still active. And the members are Andy Milbum and Thomas Hadzu. So it's for the record. At last, but not least, some continuity because again and again, two stories and episodes are to some extent related to each other, linked to each other, reference to each other, and influence from each other. And every time I rewatch stories and episodes, I always discover new things. And by the way, it's always an interpretation, so continuity, two things to ponder. And that is holo ads are an example of media in the 22nd century. You know, also a link with prose, seeing. I Second thing is that the doctor previously visited a monastery in his second incarnation. That's in the Patrick Troughton in the TV story The Abominable Snowman. A third thing is that the eye patched lady reappears. That's also the case in TV story Day of the Moon and The Curse of the Black Spot. A fourth thing is that Doctor states when informed that it has only been an hour, that a lot of things can happen in 1 hour. An entire planet can be turned inside out in an hour. That is also in the case with the TV movie Doctor Who in 1996 with Paul McGann. That's a doctor. Fifth thing is that the use of the original humans going into harnesses, eyes closed to help create a Geiger clone is very similar to what Martha Jones does with her clone in TV story The Sontaran Stratagem. And that is with the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. A sixth thing is that The material from which the gangers are created is referred to as, quote, the flesh, end quote. The new humans were previously referred to as that in a TV story New Earth. And that is 10th Doctor story with Rose as companion. Seventh thing is that the TARDIS is still confused as to whether Amy is pregnant. That's also the case. TV story Day of the Moon. Eight things that Rory mentions that rule one with the Doctor is, quote, don't wander off, end quote. The Doctor himself said this in TV story The Girl in the Fireplace. That's um, and then Doctor story, The Empty Child. That is with Nine Doctor Christopher Eccleston and 11th Hour. Oh, that's with the 11th Doctor. As always, the companions do wander off, much to Doctor's annoyance. You have the lives of our own. Eh? Choose for yourself sometime. Yeah. And the 10th thing in continuity is that the Doctor has previously encountered doubles of himself in TV story The Chase. That is with the first Doctor William Hartnell and the companions Ian, Barbara, and Vicky, and featuring Stephen, by the way. The Massacre, that is with the also with the first Doctor and Stephen. Also, and doubles of himself in Enemy of the World. That's with the second Doctor Patrick Troughton. Meglos with the fourth Doctor Tom Baker. Arc of Infinity with the fifth Doctor Peter Davison. Journey's End, and that is with also double, and that's with the 10th Doctor, and the companions Rose, Mickey, Sarah Jane, Jackie, Donna, and Martha, and Jack, with the much companions. It's also double Doctor. 11th Hour with Smith, and the Big Bang also, and doubles of himself, the Big Bang. And that is what 11th Doctor also, Amy, River, and Rory. He will again in TV story The Wedding of River Song. But it's set for this is The Wedding of River Songs also double. Is with also with 11th Doctor, Amy, River, and Rory. So. And that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story. The first episode of the story, The Rebel Flesh. And as I already was saying, next time, continuation of story and in the Almost People. So. Some commercial, and then we will jump. So, Sci-Fi Fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who. Random, because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random guys will broadcast on all fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also, because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on you want to join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in the live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord server, Random Entertainment channel. You can meet me there, contact me there, and you can put a comment on the one of the YouTube videos. And we look what is possible, and also it's possible invite me for your channel. You can, if I'm available for to join you in your on your channel on the live stream or panel to talk about the things we're interested in. By the way, I have many playlists on this channel, and actually you can listen to some stories of the different doctors. And you can also listen to stories about the personality of the doctor and the companions of the doctor. So much to enjoy. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who. This board invite me very quick because I spammed the server early. So, cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. Yes, I'm looking forward to meet you. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye. Bye bye.